Hey guys, Brandon Roberts coming to you guys from Comms 103. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my love for music. And I'll start things off by asking you, the viewer, if you have attended any concerts or music festivals just ever, right? And show of hands, anybody? Now, if you haven't, I would highly recommend. They are a fun experience. I attended a concert at the Rady Shell at Jacobs Park earlier last October with some friends and had a good time there. It was a classical music performance. And if classical music is not your thing, it's like, don't worry. There are plenty of other, different concerts and stuff down in the San Diego area. But to expand on this topic of my passion for music, I'll talk about two things that I encounter on a regular basis. The first of which is this speaker, right here. Now, you might be asking, why did I buy this, right? Well, the main reason was I always found myself always borrowing my brother's speaker whenever I would go out on dates or hang out with friends and stuff like that. And he'd always give me a hard time about it. So to avoid being a nuisance, I decided to buy my own. So I walked into the nearest Best Buy and then I bought this, the Mega Blast is what it's called. A 16-hour battery life, stain-proof, dust-proof, waterproof, drop-resistant, portable Bluetooth speaker. Now this isn't a sponsored video, but I've had this since 2019. So if you're in the market for a high-quality speaker, I would highly recommend. Moving on to the next object would be my violin. So, bam, right here. Now, you might be asking, am I a classical musician? Yes, ever since middle school, I just kind of took that as like my elective. Why did I choose that? I just chose it over Spanish, and then I just kept going from there. Now, your next follow-up question might be the same as the one in the last object. It's like, why did you buy it? It's like, why did you buy a violin? It's like, don't music programs offer free instruments to play with? And you'd be right in that assumption. However, after high school, I didn't intend on continuing or majoring in music or anything like that. But I've had a lot of older friends and stuff tell me that they wish they continued music after high school. They're like, man, I wish I continued playing and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I didn't want to make the same mistake, and I do think it's like a lifelong skill. I think it's cool, and I'd love to get better at it. So what I did was that I decided to just I'd buy one, right? So I talked to a buddy of mine. He said he got his through a place in LA called LA Violins, and then so I was like, okay, sweet. So I go down there. I take a buddy of mine with me for a second pair of ears. And then we go to this shop, and basically how it's set up is that they had this wall that was basically filled with different violins. You tell the person, your price range, and then they're like, all right, they'll say they got about like 10 or so within that price range that you gave them. And then they got a small little practice room that you go and you take in the instruments, and you kind of do it like King of the Hill style. You try one violin, try it against the other one, see which one sounds better, and you do that until you find the best one out of the ones that were given. And then so that's how we ended up with this one, right? And so since I already have it out, I guess I'll just play you guys a little passage because this is a show and tell after all. So I'll play a little phrase for you guys. So, yeah, if you guys know the song, write down in the comment section below. If you get it right, bonus points. So today I talked about my passion for music, and I've shown that through the Mega Blast and my violin. Now, reason to remember. I know learning a new instrument is hard to do for a lot of people, but I do think music enhances the human experience, right? And you don't need to learn an instrument in order to, to recognize that. So if you guys ever have any free time, I'd recommend going to, a concert or musical festival or something like that. And more often than not, people who have a similar taste in music also are more likely to have other similarities in other aspects of their life. So it's a good way to socialize and to find new friends. And I think that's important, especially now, since we have accumulated a lack of socializing within the last 2 years due to the pandemic. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.